So you just spent hours, if not the whole day, perfecting your gunfight, trying to make the gunshots look as realistic as possible. But now you need to add sound to it. And this is a big deal because if the sound isn't as realistic as the visuals, it's not going to translate on film. So my name is Jared Otto, and I'm going to show you how to add sound to your gunshots using Audio Design Desk. So to show you how to add sound to your gunshots, I thought I would take this clip from John Wick. It's known for having particularly realistic gunfights and gunshots, so I thought it was a great example. Here's just a little part of it where he's going to whip out his gun and shoot a couple guys here. But before we start adding sounds to these gunshots, I think it's important that we break down exactly what sounds we're listening for. And it breaks down into 3 distinct groups. So we have first the gun itself. That is the sound of handling the gun, reloading the gun, any sort of movements. Second, we have the bullets. Well, that is going to be the shooting, the whizzing by, any transition sounds you might add to that. And then third, we have the impact of that bullet. So that's going to be either hitting a wall, there's going to be some splatter, and in this particular case, there's going to be blood splatter. Let's just go ahead and start with the gun itself. Right here, we need a grab sound. He's grabbing the gun. We need grab metal. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bring up a magic marker here. We're going to say grab metal, and we're going to see what comes up. Doorknob. So this is one of those things where you accidentally find a really good sound. Maybe we don't want the end here where you can clearly tell a door handle is opening, but this whole section right here, that is a great gun handling sound, especially from the distance that he's at. So we're going to actually select that, and we'll end up using that later. But let's keep searching for our grab sounds here. What happens if we just select grab, just grab? Oh, we have grab pistol. I like the sound of this one because it also has a subtle hint of like a cocking sound, which that's not realistic. He's definitely not going to be cocking the gun in this, but just having it there, it's like a good, it's a good sound cue for the brain to understand that he has a loaded gun that he's about to shoot, and that's the blend of perception versus reality, and we're going to use a lot of that here. So let's grab that, drop it in. It's a little behind, so let's move it. Awesome. Look at that, and it sounds like he's picking it up. And then we can chop off that end that I was talking about with the doorknob, and let's zoom in on these tracks so we can really see the waveforms. Doubling these sounds, we're going to be doing a lot of stacking with sounds here, and that's very important for these. You're definitely going to be stacking a lot. And I think that's a great start. So let's go on to the actual gunshot, and we're just going to do Option G here, bring up this magic marker, and we're going to select gunshot. Maybe I should just type in pistol as well. Right. That's a little too thin, a little too distant. Okay, those could work. Maybe we'll add this one and that one. Together they might sound very good. That's too close. I like that one too. Let's see what we get. Scrub through. Boom. That's when it's happening. That is when we're going to put that first pistol shot. Next one. Boom. That's the second pistol shot. See, 2 sounded a little off, so we're going to select it and see what happens if we go to 3. 5 seems a little off as well. So what we'll do is we'll go to 3 and 4 here. So now we're using pistol shot 4, 3, and 4. They're close, but it's just subtly different, and that way it doesn't sound too repetitive to the ear. And we're going to go back and add other things to this so you definitely don't hear it as repetition. Now this is what I was talking about, layers. And just because we have a gunshot that sounds realistic doesn't mean that that's where it's going to end. We want this to feel heavier. And so that's where we can layer crazier sounds under it. One of my favorite examples is that T2 Terminator 2, they actually layered some cannon fire under the shotgun sounds when they were building those, so that they always felt like they were more impactful and had more weight behind them. Let's try that. Let's just say let's bring this down. Option up. Maybe not cannon because it's not a shotgun. Pistol heavy. Bring it down in the mix a little bit here. And you see how it just adds a little bit of weight. So we're going to do that with these other two as well. We're going to select them. Option shift drag. Option up on this. It was pistol heavy, right? And we'll find another one. And this one as well. Maybe that one will work. Alright, so we have these, and we'll bring those down to -4 as well. And let's listen to our layered shots. That sounds much better than just the shots by themselves. So to compare. And then now we have this. Yeah, it's just a little more rumble, there's a little more ambience to them. You can kind of hear some reflections from it in your stereo edits. It really kind of fills the space more, makes it hit just a little harder, which is exactly what we wanted. So now that we've layered those, just select these, we'll move them on top of each other. And we'll select these, option M. Now we need to do the bullet whizzing. We're gonna go right back on top of our markers here. Option G, bullets, whiz. Honestly, we can just copy this out, and then we could do command right to get two different ones. I like the sound of this. We just got to bring them down in the mix a little. It's just that little bit of a detail, and we're really bringing it down in the mix too, because we want these to blend and feel like one single sound as it would in reality. And that's you just got to add the detail, keep bringing them down in the mix until they merge together into one sound. We want to add the impacts. That's the next part here, and we can kind of do it the same way we've been doing stuff. Let's just option shift drag here, then drag to right at the spot where people get shot, and then the next guy. So we'll move that one off. This one seems to be about there. Select this first one. We're going to say option up, bullets, flesh. I like that one. And we want this to be tight. These are really starting to sound great. We just got to get these blood splatters, and then we are good to go. So we're going to say option G, blood splatter. Maybe we want to add more intensity to these. And I know it sounds a lot in the moment, but like this second one, where this guy's brains pretty much go everywhere. And then we're going to add a little fade on it. So then it gets out of the way in time for us to do the next one. This will work good for the end. We're going to do the same thing, put a little fade on it. We can just do blood splatter. We can add both of these. We can stack them, and we can bring them up in volume. I think there's just one more detail. That is, again, the movement of the gun. The gun is its own thing happening separately. We have bullets, gun, impacts. Those are all three happening at the same time. Three distinct characters to make a realistic gun sound. So we just need to add a little bit of gun handling. Okay, yeah, perfect. We're going to grab that. We're going to drag it down here. You see, it's just very subtle. So what we're going to do is, that whole time he's moving the gun back and forth, whipping it back and forth, we're just going to bring it down in the mix, and you're just going to subtly hear it in the background. And that's it. That's all you have to do to create realistic gun sounds. 19 regions to build out 3 realistic gunshots. In order to create realistic gunshots, you need to be layering their sounds. It's about stacking it to create full, lush, thick sounds that people will accept as real when they see it in a film like this. Again, remember your 3 parts. We have the gun itself, that's the handling and the movement of it. We have the bullets, that's the whizzing, as well as the actual sound of the shot from the gun. And then we have the impact. So that is going to be the whiz into a wall, or in this case, into a person, and it's going to have the blood splatter with all of that. And they will come out sounding incredible like this. Alright, so that's how you create realistic gun sounds for your realistic gun visuals. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Jared Otto. This was Audio Design Desk that we were able to build everything in just a couple minutes. And check back later for more tutorials.